station of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Glenn in Massachusetts. Hey, Glenn, what's going on?
You know what is good for us is Tom O'Brien providing an unbiased source of information for us investors. You don't have an agenda. It's just to cut through everything and to give us the facts. I want to thank you.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. Well, 5 days a week we go, 2 hours a day we go, 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day out there, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Take action without expecting a reward. Doing your best means to take action because you love to, not because you expect a reward. When you take action without expecting a reward, you enjoy every action, and you can receive even greater rewards than you ever imagined. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 6, NASDAQ up 2, S&P's down $1.50. Gold contract, all-time highs up $24, trading out at $1,457 an ounce. Silver up 75 cents at $39.25. Platinum up $4.50 at $1,792 an ounce. Copper down a penny at $4.24 a pound. Light sweet crude off 59 cents, trading out at 107.88. Dollar index, bonds rather, down 13 ticks at 119.31. Dollar down 3 ticks at 76.12. Euro up 3 ticks at 142. Yen up 80 ticks, trading out at 84.85. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have out here? Cash S&P out here today gets to 1338.21. 1338. Got into the 1337 from Friday, highs of yesterday. It's trying to get into the downdraft, which was out there from the 22nd of February. Can't handle it. We did the 1.3 billion shares there. We did 830 million today. Bottom line, I suspect it's not going to actually go tag that high up there that it's been trying to get into. It's been trying to get into that point. Well, actually, hold it. 1338. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, yeah, it's the 1344 high. It hit the 1338 today. That high up there that was trying to tag is 1338. Now, what it did do is that it got into the low of that today. That's what it decided to do. So check it out. We got to 1338.21. 1338.12 was the low of the high of the 18th. That's what it did. It failed. That's your S&P cash. We go to the Dow Industrials. You take a look at the Dow Industrials. Dow Industrials today got up to the 12,438 mark. Closed out at 12,393. That's still over the high. So, meaning the high is the 18th. That can go out there and tag that high again of today. The NASDAQ Composite. We take a look at the composite. Now, the composite out here is the weakest baby out here. Well, it's going to be actually the NDX 100, but let's take a look at the composite first. Composite had a high out here today of 2806. You're closing out at 2791. It did the same thing as the S&P, meaning that it basically tagged into March 3rd. It tagged into the February 28th. It's trying to tag into the downdraft of the 22nd. It did 1.9 billion shares versus 2.495 billion. Can't handle it. Now, the NDX 100. Let's go over to the NDX 100. Now, this is what you have with the NDX 100. The NDX 100, the highs in the NDX 100 are out there at 2403. Bottom line, even on this counter trend bounce, you only got to 2359. NDX 100 is making its way back down to the 2252 area to the 2188 area. Now, inside the NDX 100, of course, you know what we've been talking about for many moons, okay, is good old Apple, AAPL. Apple constitutes just a huge amount of the NDX 100. Bottom line is that you're pushing, that's interesting. They already got this thing. So you're pushing 20, there she is. Okay, so you're pushing in the NDX 100. Apple, even today, is pushing 21%. Bottom line is that they are rebalancing the NDX 100. And what they're going to do, folks, is this. So as of May 3rd, the rebalance will take place. What that will do is it's going to bring Apple down, from the start of today, it's going to bring it down to basically almost 12%. That will be a different characteristic when it gets down there. The reason being is that it's still the NDX 100 itself is a special weighting structure. It's a modified capital weighted index, and it's based on price, and it's based on weighting. And so what the NDX 100, the NASDAQ, has done is this. They're going to bring Apple down. They're bringing Microsoft up. They're bringing Oracle up. Now, this is what it's going to do on a fundamental basis. On a fundamental basis, it means flat out that the 4 Qs have to. This is a have to sell Apple, okay? Because the 4 Qs are based on the weighting structure of the NDX 100. There's going to be many other NDX funds, mutual funds out there that also have to sell Apple. So it's going to keep pressure on Apple. Now, the smart money got out of Apple this morning, because what you're going to see as you go along, as we come up to the structure, there'll be more selling. There has to be more selling. And depending on how the perspectives are in different structures, some of them may not have been able to sell today versus selling the night before the NDX 100 actually changes. So there's going to be a lot of action out here in Apple, and Microsoft, and Oracle because of those structures. Now, let's go over to Oracle and look at Oracle for a second. So if we look at Oracle, Oracle was down 22 cents today. Now, this is pretty bizarre, actually, because, see, they're going to have to own more of Oracle. Oracle right now stands at, let's see. So inside the NDX 100, look at this. This is what's going on there. None of these are available right now. They change it. What this is saying right here, this is going to be interesting. They're saying they're going to be changing a lot more than the NDX 100. See, they're going to change the S&P, the cash S&P also. That's what's going to happen here, because this just changed overnight, and the OEX is changing. So the S&P, so the weighting inside the S&P is also going to change. Microsoft, the same thing's going to happen with Microsoft. We take a look at Microsoft, and what you have with Microsoft, bottom line, that couldn't even handle higher price today. That baby's going south. Now, check this out, folks. This is pretty wild. If you go to the IWM, now the Russell 2000 was the first indice to actually get over all the highs. But wait till you see what it did today. This is pretty amazing. What the Russell 2000 did today is this. Let me bring this all the way back. 08 to 07. If you want to see a test, what a mind blower this is for something that's $85. What the Russell 2000 did today is come back to July 9th of 2007, which was the high of the Russell, and failed. The mind blower here, folks, is that it's exactly the same number, 85.74, and today we went to 85.745. So we'll see if that is what the market was waiting for. There's always some kind of a catalyst, but that one there absolutely blows my mind. Bottom line is it tagged it. It was there for a split second, gave it up. You did 44 million shares versus the 56 million. You closed at 85.19. That's on the daily. On the weekly, it's going to come in 150 million shot on the weekly also. If we get closer inside the IWM right now, what you have is that first off, you got over the February 18th high. That had 39 million shares. You come over that with 42 million, had it there. Certainly doesn't have it as to where we are right now, meaning the 44 versus the 56 million. Gold contract. Let's go over to gold. Gold went topside out here today, big time too. I did 153,000 contracts. Now, the highs that are out there, folks, are 225,000. So we'll see whether gold can hang up there and stay up there. It's a decisive break, no doubt. The break that was up there on the 24th, it had every shot to do it. Couldn't handle it the 24th. Today it's closed over those highs, and it had wide price spread. it still needed more volume, but the bottom line, it is so far over it. We'll see whether it's going to basically make the pullback. Now, inside the gold market, Rheingold, you're talking about an equity that takes off. Holy cow. This is GOLD that had laid basically a test in 4 days ago. Thing takes off from $73 to $87. So this is the second day of strength, big strength that had in it. We'll see what kind of a pullback you get into it. ABX, if we take a look at Barrick Gold was up 289, and Barrick also, she right now, last high out here at Barrick was 55.72. That was going back on the 7th of December. We'll see whether she can make it up there. Now, in that aspect, let's go over to the dollar. Now, what happened with the dollar out here today, folks, is that once again, they try to jam the dollar, and they couldn't do it. So it's going to be wild watching this shake out, and this is what I mean. You got the ECB coming out on Thursday. You have the dollar 2 days ago. We went topside with 32,000 contracts. You basically went sideways today with 23,000, but they couldn't get it under the low of even last Thursday. That's telling me the dollar still wants to go to higher price. You had the Fed minutes come out today. The Fed minutes bottom line were basically saying straight across the deal that they were basically divided as to whether they wanted to remove the stimulus in 2011. That's 2011, but so they're really talking 2012. They, were unanimous in finishing the $600 billion bond purchase program, so that goes till June. It was really a non-event intraday when that was coming out. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Let's go take a look at good old Apple and see what we have with Apple. Okay, so what you have with Apple right now is this. Apple, from the high that was generated on the 16th of February, this is what you have. You have Apple has a high out there of 364. You have 3 lower highs and 2 lower lows. Bottom line, what I expect you're going to have done here, Apple's going to go after its low of 326.26. And as we get into that level, what you'll more than likely, we'll see whether we get the volume down there or not. Last 2 times we were down there, volume expanded and expanded tremendously as we got into those lower levels. The amazing part about indices in particular is that when they do get rebalanced like this, what you're going to see, folks, it's actually a numbers trick that in the longer run, it'll look like the curve is smoother on the way up or the way down. And I can show you that in the Dow charts. If you ever look at an Ibison Dow chart, it looks like it's always gone up. What they don't show you inside there is that 29 out of the 30 Dow stocks have gone bankrupt. So they put another stock in there. So the bottom line is that that's not factually correct how it looks like it's always gone up. This is Tom O'Brien, this is TFNN. Come right back, folks.